Attention please. This uploading is only for educational purpose. No intention to infringe copyrights. Learning English with subtitles. GPITRAL. Follow us.
A satellite view of the United States at night, lights twinkling.
Texas. It's the largest state in the lower 48. And within its borders, a landscape that's remarkably diverse. Many places in the Lone Star State still remain undeveloped and wild.
One misperception about Texas is that it's a flat, dry, arid place. And it is that way in a lot of places, but when you start getting into the central and eastern portions of Texas, you find that there's a lot of wooded areas.
One of them, in central Texas, is a region called the Cross Timbers.
The Cross Timbers was named early in Texas history as part of the heavily wooded area of North Texas. It was where the wildlife was best, thickest, and it was pretty difficult to travel through. It's where a lot of outlaws hid out. All kinds of creatures could hide in the Cross Timbers. You will find things you probably never expected to find in there.
The creatures in the woods around Fort Worth are believed to be especially unusual.
I don't know if we should be here.
It's fine, just park it right here.
On a summer night in 1969, Fort Worth residents went out searching for a glimpse of a goat-man monster rumored to stalk the woods. According to witnesses, they got more than a glimpse.
The monster appears behind a young couple's car and starts dragging it.
Someone saw it run across the road, ran up on the edge of the rim of this tall pit, and was seen running back and forth. It picked up a huge tire and launched it. It flew about 400 feet above everybody's head, landed in the other side of the pit, and of course, everybody just ran.
The Lake Worth Monster was the front page story on the Fort Worth Star-Telegram on July 10th and July 11th of 1969.
This was a horror story because the creature had displayed aggression towards people. So naturally, people were leery about going out at night.
Was all the worry for nothing? Almost as soon as it appeared, the goat man was gone.
People in the area say that the Lake Worth Monster went into hiding after 1969.
Nobody's ever found any bones. Nobody's ever found any tracks. It was a mystery in 1969, and then where did he go is another mystery.
It would be another 2 decades before anyone had an answer. Texas local Doug Sheldon is a married father of 2. The hardworking truck driver has always had a fascination with the unknown.
When I was a kid, I believed in the monsters. Of course, Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, but that was about it. I didn't know of any other monsters that were out there.
By the 1990s, the goat man's mischief at Lake Worth was a distant memory. Doug Sheldon never imagined this monster would enter his world.
The summer after high school, we were all just having fun. We'd go camping a lot, and Mount Nebo was a place that we'd sneak up to. It's just a private ranch. The whole surrounding area is mesquite trees, cedar trees, just a lot of brush.
Summer, 1990. Doug Sheldon arrived to the outskirts of the ranch around 10 p.m. From there, he hiked on foot to meet his friends.
To get to the mountain, you have to go through a section of barbed wire. That's how they keep a lot of their, their livestock. And once I got through there, then it's just a matter of wading through all the bushes and trees. About halfway up the hill, I heard a noise, like branches breaking. I started going towards it, thinking, okay, maybe that's my friends over there. They might be hiding from me because they think I'm the rancher.
Hey, guys.
I'm calling out quietly, and nobody responds. And I happen to look up, and that's when I saw a dark shadow right underneath the tree. I knew I was looking at a monster. I mean, this thing was big, and it was ugly. He was about 6 to 8. He was furry, and had little horns, maybe 6 to 7 inches. I mean, my stomach just dropped. I was just stunned. I was like paralyzed. I didn't know what to do. It was aggravated, kind of like how any wild animal would kind of charge to get something away from its territory or trying to protect something. What felt like an eternity was probably a matter of seconds. It moved towards me.
The monster charges through the woods.
I was gone. It was fight or flight, and I chose flight. I wasn't even thinking about my friends anymore, or the rancher. I was just running. I didn't stop for 5 miles. I ran the whole time.
Later, Doug found his friends. They'd never gone up to the mountain that night.
I told them there's a monster up there. And you know, my friends, the skeptics, they were laughing. They're like, oh yeah, what did it look like, you know? He's a boogeyman. Come on, let's go.
Wanting to prove that what he had just seen was real, Doug suggested they return to the mountain.
The moon was behind the mountain, so there was a silhouette.
See? There it is.
You could plainly see the bulkiness of his body with the fur, and then the little horns that poke out the top of his head. He was moving around up there.
I told you.
And he was howling. As soon as I seen this thing again, you know, I was still startled with fear. But it felt good knowing that someone else had seen it, other than just me. My kids don't believe me. Most of my friends don't believe me. But I know this thing's real. The goat man is real. Some people call it the Lake Worth monster. It's real, and it's out there.
Lake Worth, fringed by woods.
To this day, tales of the Lake Worth monster are still passed among Texans.
I would tell non-believers that there is something out there. And I guarantee you, we don't know everything about those things. And creatures like the Lake Worth monster, they exist.
A strand of barbed wire.
In another part of Texas, an infamous monster is spooking residents. Deputy Sheriff Ellie Carter had heard the rumors about the chupacabra. She managed to get video proof.
It's running and it's creepy and my adrenaline goes up. I kind of had a pit in my stomach because I wasn't quite sure what it was capable of.
Monsters and mysteries. A satellite view of Texas, and in the south, the town of Cuero.
Down in the town of Cuero, in south-central Texas, turkeys outnumber residents by a landslide.
Cuero's like an awesome town. It has the home of the gobblers, the turkeys. It's just a great bunch of close-knit people.
Recently, the area has gained notoriety for something besides turkeys, something much more terrifying. A mythical creature called chupacabra. Its Spanish name means goat sucker. And in southern Texas, the chupacabra began establishing its vicious reputation. On August 21st, 2010, Jack County, Texas local Stacia Henderson had a violent run-in with a mysterious creature. A creature feared for its thirst for blood and blamed for killing hundreds of farm animals.
A woman creeps into a dark barn. She looks around nervously. She focuses on a cooler box on top of a stool and next to it a black bin. There are marks on the ground near the bin. A black cat comes out and startles the woman. She turns to see an animal's bloody mouth behind the bin. It bites her hand. She runs out of the barn. Caption, actual 911 call.
Jack County 911. There's a wild dog that looks half starved, and I think it might have rabies. I mean, it's not even a dog. It's got fangs, and it just bit a complete hole in my hand. It's some weird creature. It's got pig hair on it and bones and no fat. It's nasty. I think it's a chupacabra.
I don't know what that is.
Well, I mean, I know they say that thing ain't real, but I think we just got one.
When the sightings took place, the town went bizarre. It went crazy. There was stuff all over the news. The cops were going crazy. They were trying to spot these things.
Instead of the normal hunting, people started hunting the chupacabra. But the chupacabra is very hard to come by. Nobody knows what this animal does. He's not scared of the human. He's very elusive. He's very quiet.
Few have been in the presence of a chupacabra long enough to get a look. Deputy Sheriff Ellie Carter actually managed to come away with video proof.
Growing up and being of Hispanic origin, as children we were told the story of the chupacabra, goat sucker, fairly often to keep us inside the house at night. And I really didn't put a whole lot of stock in it until I saw it for myself.
August 8th, 2008. The air was dry and still as Ellie and her partner, Brandon Riedel, were nearing the end of their shift.
I wish I was home.
You mean you're not enjoying the big-time police action, rounding up cattle?
We received a call of loose livestock. We were actually checking both sides of the road to see if we could find tracks of cattle that had been out. And as we came around the curve, I saw this thing sitting in the road on its hind end, and Brandon hit the record button on the dash cam so that we could document the incident.
What is this? Oh, man.
Woo! It's running and it's creepy and my adrenaline goes up and it was just all very bizarre. So I'm looking at this thing and I realized this is a chupacabra.
At first glance, it looks like a dog, but the head and the ears are massively oversized. Witnesses report its skin is without hair and gray blue.
I think it was fear, excitement, and disbelief all rolled into one. Brandon and I chased it up the road, and then it finally dove off under a fence line into an open pasture. At that point, I kind of had a pit in my stomach because I wasn't quite sure what it was capable of.
Reenactment of the officers staring at the creature.
We had witnessed something that very few had.